So, after completing these two basic issues, when court can refuse the specific performance of a contract, number one, and number two, privity of the contract, section 15 and 19 together. So, when you will answer the privity of the contract, you have to discuss section 15, section 19 with reference to specific performances. But before it, you have to tell what is the privity of the contract, how third party cannot be made liable. So, after completing it, one or two heads you should also note down in your notes, because these one or two heads will reflect some different position of law. Because on one hand you have the open remedy for any civil cause of action under CPC, and on the other hand you have the specific remedy under Specific Relief Act. So you make a notes on this head, remedies for a cause of action under SR Act as well as under CPC. इस हेड में आप you can discuss कि both remedies are independent remedies. Section 9 remedy is a regular remedy. Scope is open, any plea can be taken. Section limitation will be governed by the Limitation Act, where remedies under Specific Relief Act are specific in nature. Time limit is prescribed for decision. Under CPC proceeding, no time limit is prescribed. Appeals are prescribed under CPC, but Specific Relief Act, no appeal is provided. So 1 से 1.5 महीने में केस तय होना है, कोई अपील नहीं होनी है, और एरिया ऑफ लिटिगेशन इज वेरी लिमिटेड, ओपन नहीं है. अब जहाँ पोजेशन डिस्पोजेशन के मामले आपने आए, वो तो पोजेशन तक रिलेटेड हो गए कि इलीगली डिस्पोजेस किया गया है, आपको पोजेशन रेस्टोर किया जाए, एक एस्पेक्ट. अब दूसरा एस्पेक्ट जो हमने दूसरा रिलीफ ये टेकअप किया, स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस ऑफ द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का. अब इसमें एक तो इशू आया स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस का कि हम उसका स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस चाहते हैं. इसके साथ दूसरा इशू आया प्रिविटी ऑफ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट का कि हम उसी पार्टी से चाह रहे हैं जो जिसके साथ कॉन्ट्रैक्ट किया है. तीसरा इशू इसमें आया कि when specific performance can be refused, you satisfy the privity condition of the privity of the contract, you satisfy the court legal obligation of the other party. Now, even after satisfying these two basic conditions, when court can refuse, section 14, and if all these three basic questions are satisfied, then specific performance would be granted. This is with regard to the relief of the specific performance only. But in violation of the terms and conditions of a contract or a breach of the contract, it not only requires the specific performance but may also require some compensation for damages to be recovered from the defendant. So what will happen if in a suit for a specific performance of a contract, the plaintiff seeks two remedies. Number one is the specific performance and number two is the compensation. So answer to this question would lie in section 21. Let us see what does it say. In a suit for specific performance of a contract, the plaintiff may also claim compensation for its breach in addition to such performance. That is exactly what I just told you. He can claim compensation, number one. He is claiming compensation, number two. So there is no bar. In a suit for specific performance, compensation cannot be claimed. Reason being, if he just want the compensation, if he just want the specific performance and compensation both, and if it is barred that he cannot claim compensation here, then he would have to face two litigation, one for the specific performance under SR Act and another for compensation under section 9 of the CPC. So it will result into the multiplicity of the proceedings and further complication. So what SR Act makes you unable, that in addition to the specific performance of the contract, if you want to claim some compensation for the damages arising out of such breach, you can do it. Number one. Second, in any such suit, the court decides that specific performance ought not to be granted, but there is a contract between the parties which has been broken by the defendant and the plaintiff is entitled to the compensation for that breach, it shall award the compensation accordingly. So two reliefs were sought, specific performance and the compensation, and court comes to the conclusion that no specific performance permissible for whatever the reason. It does not and will not disentitle plaintiff for compensation. So it is open with the court. It can grant both the reliefs. It can grant any one of the reliefs. So what you have to note it down, that refusal of the specific performance will not automatically result in the refusal of grant of compensation. Because specific relief has been refused by the court, it does not mean that he cannot be awarded a compensation. So general principle, you can note it down in such cases, or in otherwise also, court has power to grant all the reliefs or any of the reliefs claimed, whatever suits to the situation. Third, if in any such suit the court decides that specific performance ought to be granted but that it is not sufficient to satisfy the justice of the case, that some compensation for a breach should also be made to the plaintiff, it shall award him such compensation accordingly. The same thing which I discussed. दोनों दे दे, दोनों ना दे, दोनों में से एक दे दे, कुछ भी कर सकती है. All options are open with the court, but what we have to notice is that a refusal of basic relief, the main relief of specific performance, will not automatically disentitle the plaintiff to get compensation from the court. It is within the jurisdiction and the power of the court to grant any of the reliefs claimed for. Fourth, in determining the amount of any compensation awarded under section, court shall be guided by the principles of section 73 of the Indian Contract Act. What will be the quantum of compensation? The principles mentioned in the Contract Act, section 72, 73, those principles will be applied. Those principles are mainly related to the remoteness of the damages, cannot be claimed. Whatever is the natural and the direct come out of the breach can be compensated. This is the basic principle for compensation. Remote compensations cannot be granted. But the very important aspect would be subclause 5. No compensation shall be awarded under this section unless the plaintiff has claimed such compensation is plain. This is to be noted. If the plaintiff himself has not claimed the compensation, the court cannot grant compensation. But what an expert or a skilled advocate do in such types of cases, he claims a specific relief act with compensation, or if he is not using the term compensation, any other relief as court may deem fit. So, though it is not specifically in name of compensation, but it can be covered under the head of compensation. But the basic question, if it is asked, you are asked by any person in an interview or in a objective type question, MCQ, can compensation be granted under a suit of specific relief act, even if plaintiff has not claimed in his plaint? So answer would be no. Or this question can be asked in another way, that is court empowered to grant compensation to the plaintiff in a suit for a specific performance even when the plaintiff has not claimed so? The answer would be no. Provided that where the plaintiff has not claimed any such compensation in the plaint, the court shall at any stage of the pleading allow him to amend the plaint on such terms. This is the proviso enabling the court to permit the plaintiff to amend the pleading during trial. Due to inadvertence, mistakes, or due to oversight, or due to some other reasons, whatever it may be, court may permit such plaintiff to add a relief with respect to the compensation. Explanation of the circumstances that the contract has become incapable of specific performance does not preclude the court from exercising the jurisdiction conferred by this section. What does it mean? Suppose suit has been filed for a specific performance plus compensation, and court comes to the conclusion after hearing the parties that the specific performance is not possible, contract has now become incapable. Suppose कोई पेंटिंग बननी थी, डेथ हो गई है, या उसके हाथ में चोट आ गई है, वो अब कभी पेंटिंग नहीं बना पाएगा। तो ऐसे में स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस तो रिफ्यूज हो गई होगा, सेक्शन 14 वुड अप्लाई। लेकिन ऐसे केसेस में कंपनसेशन देने से कहीं कोई मनाही नहीं होगी। या इसमें दूसरा अर्थ इसका कि इस ग्राउंड पर कोर्ट जुरिडिक्शन एक्सरसाइज करने से रिफ्यूज नहीं करेगा कि भाई अब तो स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस हो ही नहीं सकता, तो हम अब स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस तो सोच ही नहीं सकते, हम कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते। तो भले ही स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस जो मांगा गया है वो संभव न रह गया हो, फिर भी कोर्ट कैन एक्सरसाइज इट्स जुरिडिक्शन एंड will grant compensation if it has been claimed. So you can view it from another angle. Can court or shall or you can say, can court have the jurisdiction to decide a suit for a specific performance where before filing the suit the specific performance has become impossible. तो किसी सूट के दाखिल होने से पहले ही स्पेसिफिक परफॉर्मेंस असंभव हो गया है, तो क्या कोर्ट को जुरिस्डिक्शन है? अब सपोज a suit is filed for a specific performance of a contract. The second party defendant comes before the court and moves an application that the specific performance has become impossible before filing the suit, and there is no purpose for continuing or going with this suit be dismissed. Section CPC, what would be? Section CPC का क्या है? Barred by law or rejection of the plaint. Order 7 Rule 11 problem. हाँ 11 ही है ना? 7-11. So if he moves application 7-11, what does he say in his application? That relief has become impossible, relief cannot be granted, and this court has no jurisdiction to decide it now. So answer to such question raised by the defendant would lie in Order 7 Rule 11 along with this explanation. The explanation clearly says that jurisdiction is still conferred upon the court. Jurisdiction is not ousted even when admittedly the relief claimed has become impossible, and court in no case can grant it. So is there any purpose for continuing or going through with the suit? The court has jurisdiction. Why the court has jurisdiction? Because court can grant compensation. It is not the case that everything has ended. But if he has not claimed the compensation in his plaint, then there is nothing remains to continue with the suit. But the basic question, whether the court will have the jurisdiction to entertain the suit or not, you have to keep in mind very clear. Having jurisdiction to entertain a plea or a proceeding is different from granting a relief. Because grant of the relief or refusal to grant the relief will be dependent upon so many factors. But the basic requirement would be the court must have the jurisdiction to entertain. If a court is not having the jurisdiction